What's going on, Sports Wars? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost and GeeksGamers.com, and Novak Djokovic is still in the middle of a massive controversy surrounding his entry into Australia, his ability to play in the Australian Open, and all of it stems from his vaccination status. And there are a ton of people out there, especially in the mainstream media, and also people in Australia themselves who are upset about this and want him banned from the country. They don't want him to play in the Australian Open, all because he is not vaccinated. But in the recent days, a couple things have come to light that do show that Novak Djokovic was inaccurate about some of the things that he put on his application to come into the country, whether that was intentional or not. He's coming out having to make clarifications. There's also a situation where after he tested positive for COVID, which is how he got this exemption, he failed to actually quarantine or do anything. He was still going to public events and meeting with people. And a lot of people are extremely upset about this. Let's take a look. Djokovic admits he didn't immediately isolate after positive COVID test as Australia probes possible discrepancies in tests. You also have this. Djokovic admits false statement on Australia travel document. A tennis star also said he'd participated in an interview and a photo shoot even after testing positive for COVID in an apparent violation of rules in his native Serbia. And in addition to the discrepancies between when he actually isolated, all of that, there's also the situation of did he travel internationally within 14 days of going to Australia? Certain social media posts certainly indicate that he had. Novak said that it was basically his agent's fault for ticking an improper box in all of the paperwork. Said they gave Australian government everything they needed to clarify that. But there's definitely a lot of discrepancies here and a lot of things for people to attack Novak Djokovic on. Now, I want to make this very clear. I think it's absolutely insane that we are still talking about this 2 years into this crap, that we're talking about a dude, peak physical condition. We're talking about tennis, which is not like it's some sport where you're super close to a ton of people. You can remain fairly socially distanced in tennis itself. We're talking about a population that has a high vax rate. It's insane that you're not letting people play in a sporting event because of the jab, especially when they've previously been infected and have that natural immunity. With that being said, I do think they're going to try to use these things. They're going to try to use these discrepancies as a reason to revoke his visa, kick him out of the country, and not let him play in the Australian Open. And when you look at the social media pressure, a ton of people in Australia who are sitting there happy as can be in their literal camps that they're being sent to because they're so damn scared of COVID. They want to kick Djokovic out because it's not fair that he has different rules than we do. And instead of maybe looking inward and looking at what their country is doing right now and has been going through and the insanity of it all, they would rather just kick Novak Djokovic out and say he can't be here. That's what's going on when you look at Twitter and hashtag Djokovic out. But I wanted to go to his statement because Novak did put out a statement having to clarify a lot of these things. I want to address the continuing misinformation about my activities and attendance at events in December that led up to my positive PCR COVID test result. This is misinformation which needs to be corrected, particularly in the interest of alleviating border concern in the community about my presence in Australia and to address matters which are very hurtful and concerning to my family. I want to emphasize I've tried very hard to ensure the safety of everyone and my compliance with testing. I attended a basketball game in Belgrade on the 14th of December, after which it was reported that a number of people tested positive. Despite having no symptoms, I took an antigen test on the 16th, which was negative, and I took an official and approved PCR test on that same day. This next day is one of the things that people are talking about a lot. The children's event that he went to. After, again, testing negative on the rapid one and then doing an official one that hadn't come back yet. The next day, I attended a tennis event in Belgrade to present awards to children and took a rapid antigen test before going to the event. It was negative. I was asymptomatic and felt good, had not received notification of a positive PCR until after that event. This is where it gets a little dicey. The next day, I was at my tennis center to fulfill a long-standing commitment for an interview and photo shoot. I canceled all other events except for that interview. I felt obliged to go ahead and conduct the interview as I didn't want to let the journalist down, but I did ensure I socially distanced and wore a mask except when my photograph was being taken. When I went home to isolate for the required period, on reflection, this was an error of judgment and I accept I should have rescheduled this commitment. So he is saying that he didn't isolate completely like he was supposed to and like he told people that he had. He actually went and did this interview despite having tested positive. I don't care about it. I don't think it's a big deal. I think if you really do think it's a big deal, you're kind of fucking insane. But what's going to matter is what the country of Australia does, what the Australian Open does, the pressure that's going to be on him. I don't know. I don't know if he can withstand all this stuff because so many people right now are out to get Novak Djokovic, all because he's not got the jab. What do you guys think about this? This story is absolutely insane. Let me know in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.